So in your earlier role, you did play that. So give me an example of how did you break these challenges? Because at one end you have a market share commitment. At the other end you have dealers squeezing you on margins. Okay. The other end you probably may have not enough production in your factory. Okay. Then there is somebody running a marketing campaign. There is somebody saying I want mass media, somebody saying I want digital. But how do you really balance this? And I know that you have done this in one of the roles, and therefore how did you really balance handle all these contradictions?
No, so Swami, marketing, and I'll say marketing is a function where everybody and anybody can actually come and actually have a point of view on whatever you do. That's what it is happens. So anybody, and I think it's a very open function. I completely agree, and everybody has its point of view, whether it's creativity, whether it's strategy, and all. But what I always feel and always think is first, and that's what we did with in one of the roles which I actually handled. There were almost 32 categories, and you have to
32, 32.
32 categories, and every category wants to, and there are business heads who have 5 or 6 categories within them, and they will fight for that all the 5 or 6 categories needs to be prominently done, not only from a budget standpoint but also from a visibility standpoint. If you actually divide 52 weeks and if you put 32 particular categories, and if let's say for example 25 categories has to be on always visible, humanly not possible, because it's not only the budget challenge but it's also in terms of there's so much of confusion that actually happens. The first and the foremost step which I as a practice which I follow is to stand up with a particular or have a collaborative approach with that particular business and saying, boss, let's decide our priorities. And the priorities has two simple matrix in one particular simple drawing board. What is my business priorities and what is my brand priorities? Because end of the day, those particular categories should contribute to the master brand, and vice versa, the master brand has to contribute to those particular categories. There's some category we collectively take with a call, boss. The numbers from business and number from your particular data doesn't show that we should promote it in a very high way. Let's try and find a smart way to do it. And let's start having, and I would have done almost with 18 such meetings before the year begins. So normally I've started doing it from the month of November so that the fresh year can actually get into the entire particular planning. Most important is getting your business and marketing planning aligned. It will never work that, and now mostly people say I'm making my marketing plan. No meaning of that marketing plan till the time your business plan is actually aligned to it. And there are many, I have done most of the mistakes in my previous assignments and all. We will create a fantastic, we'll close our marketing plans, we'll close our everything before the year starts, but it is not a buy-in of from a business. What's the point in terms of those? And I learned a very hard way in terms was it will not work, and it doesn't work in those particular things. It has to have one particular planning matrix. This is what we're actually trying to plan, keeping both the objectives in line. And let's review it every particular month rather than quarter. We may decide something doesn't work because, as you rightly said, sometimes manufacturing doesn't support, sometimes you don't get the product on time. You decided a date that we want to do a Diwali launch, and specifically in a consumer durable industry, Diwali launch or something becomes very big, you don't get it. Fine, what is my plan B? How can I actually move from there? And again, coming to the point for me, every duct has to be connected and thread together. So it is not about that I will think about advertising once I will see the plan or once I'll my product will know. I think if you have to do an advertising, what is the advertising will play a role in that entire particular business orientation that needs to. How does the business will get benefit? It's not about I want to make 10 different creatives and I want to look for it. Your true sense of awards is the true sense of meeting the matrix for the business, rather than I have applied for 10 awards and I got all the awards for it. And tomorrow when your particular business head stand up and say, "Ki, boss, today this is what we have achieved because of marketing support, this is what the marketing has delivered," I think your award is already done. So coming to the crux of this particular point is, I think it's about complete aligned planning that you do. Because what happens is when you do a planning across it's a very tough process. It's about very easy to say because it involves a lot of time, energy, plus also you also have to see that the other particular partner should not get uncomfortable. So because you're trying to roll it, but once you start solving and once you start getting into his particular shoes, saying, boss, I am ready to move in this entire space with you, and it is not my agenda, it's our agenda. End of the day, it's our business goal. The entire narrative changes, and that's how people look. Also, one thing which Swami, as a marketer, I learned and felt, which is also very important to it, is most of the business heads will come and say, boss, this is my B2B business. I just want to keep it very simple. This is my B2C business. I personally believe there's no B2B, there's no B2C. It's P2P. End of the day, you are dealing with people. It's all people to people. So get this particular mindset. Let's get the larger picture. What is the objective that you're trying to gain? Whatever the momentum that you actually draw, irrespective whether you actually whether it has to be treated like a B2B. Even if you today, and I asked some of the people that, okay, you handle B2B business, you handle different B2B. Don't you interact with internet? Don't you interact with mobile? Don't you watch television? Don't you watch cricket? So how would you actually change those narratives that change the entire particular framework that you actually talk about?